Hey there, guys. I just wanted to go over a problem that shows you guys what we were talking about today in the notes because I felt like a lot of us didn't quite understand it. And I'm using my new fun tool. I don't know if you can see it, but it's a pen that lets me write on this paper. And it'll show up here for you guys so that you can see exactly what I am writing. So in this problem, we're working with distance in the coordinate plane. They're going to give you 2 points, okay? So in this problem, I have the points -1, 1, and I have the point 4, 4, okay? And I want to know the distance between those 2 points. So the first thing you want to do is do exactly what I've already done, and you want to graph them. I graph -1, +1. I graph 4, 4. This is my graph. And I want to know the distance between these 2 points. What is that distance? Okay, when I do these problems, that's always going to be my hypotenuse, my C. Okay, so in order to use my Pythagorean theorem, I need to know what my A and my B are so that I can solve for C. Okay, when we do this, okay, we figure out both of our legs by finding the distance of the x's between them and then the distance of the y between them. So first I start, and this was a graph you'd see all the different points. I start by counting how far x, so meaning horizontally, this point is from this point. So I just count my spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay? To get from this point to this point, I moved 5 spaces to the right. So one of my legs, my A or my B, is going to be 5. The other one, I count my y distance. To go from this point up to the top point is 1, 2, 3 spaces. Or I could have just subtracted my y's. 4 minus 1. 4 minus 1 is 3. 4 minus -1 is 5. So my 2 legs, my A and my B, are 3 and 5. Okay, and now that I have all the information I need, I can use my Pythagorean theorem, my A squared plus B squared equals C squared, to solve and figure this out. I plug in my A and my B. So I always like to put the smaller number as A and the larger number as B, but it doesn't matter which one goes where. So 3 squared plus 5 squared equals C squared. And then we want to square our numbers. 3 squared is 9, plus 5 squared is 25, equals C squared. I add these two numbers together. I get 34 equals C squared. And then I take the square root of both sides. So the square root of C squared and the square root of 34. The square root of C squared is just C. And the square root of 34 is about 5.8. We would take the square root and then we could round it to the nearest number. I know 34 is really close to 36, so I know I'm going to be around 5.8, 5.9 for my answer. Okay, that's the first type of problem. The second type of problem, and I kind of want to move down a little bit further on my paper, is sometimes they like to give us a triangle, and they'll put the triangle in a space, and they'll say, like, I have this triangle, and they'll tell me that, like, this point is 1, 1. This point is like 1, 100. And this point is like 19. Sorry, that says 19. 1. Okay, and they're going to ask me to figure out the distance between here. So what my C is. Okay, if they give me a problem like this, okay, I want to check to see again, the x distance, so the distance here starts at my x is 1. All the way down to this point, my x is 19. So to figure out my x, I do 19 minus 1, which is 18. So this distance, one of my legs, is 18. Okay? Then I look at my y's. I start at 1 and I go all the way up to 100. Well, what's the difference between 1 and 100? Well, it's 99. So this leg would be 99. Okay? Then you would take your numbers, plug them into your Pythagorean theorem. So a squared plus b squared equals c squared. And this kind of brings us back to our other sections of notes. From here, we plug in 18 squared plus 99 squared equals c squared. We're almost always going to be looking for our hypotenuse when we're finding the distance between 2 points on a number line or on a coordinate plane. Okay, and then you would go through and you would solve from there. I'm not going to go through all that because that's a previous section of notes, but hopefully this clears up some confusion that how we can figure out what our numbers are, like in this case, what our A and our B are, to figure out C. Okay, if they just give you the 2 points, like I just got 2 points here, I would need to draw that graph, okay, and I would then be able to count out my spaces, or I could just subtract my x's and subtract my y's to figure out my legs. Okay, hopefully this clears some stuff up. If you have any questions, please reach out to me. I'm going to post this on Google Classroom for everybody to see today. Thank you, guys.